First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister I am never babysitting or being childcare for her and her husband again? My 29 female, sister 32 female, asked me if I could babysit Thursday and Friday afternoons after school for her and her husband while they work. I said sure, no problem. I love my niece and nephew and I love spending time with them. It was also a nice way to get to know her husband's 2 kids better when they had them. It has worked great for 3 years I have been doing it. Then I started doing an occasional Saturday night for their date nights. For a while, I have had some issues with her husband. There were nights he didn't have his kids from a previous relationship, but he wanted me to babysit as well and I never felt comfortable with this. When it is his parenting time, absolutely no problem. But I know his ex from a past job and I do not want to get involved with her level of crazy, which babysitting on her parenting time could potentially bring to my door. My sister and I talked about this before, and she got him to back off for the most part. Because of this, I was happy to continue. So last Saturday, I was supposed to babysit for them to have a kid-free night after months of craziness due to COVID. My sister's husband shows up with all the kids, because it was their parenting time, and his ex's younger child and her boyfriend's kids. Nobody said anything to me. I never agreed to have all those kids, and at the door he acted like a jerk because I told him I was not babysitting all those kids. I called my sister and she said she had no idea he would do that. I told her that I am tired of him pushing and that last night crossed a line for me and I am not willing to subject myself to the pressure again. Not to mention it made me feel like a jerk having to deal with it while all the kids were standing there, some of whom I had never laid eyes on before. My sister is understandably hurt, but said she understands. Her husband is telling me I am an a-hole for dropping out of things on such short notice. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. He tried to take advantage of you babysitting by dropping more kids on you unexpectedly. He doesn't deserve you as a babysitter. I'm still so frustrated about that. I would be too. He's incredibly rude for trying that. Rude and overall, just being a jerk with the whole thing. Not the a-hole. What a lot of nerve. Dropping kids off that you don't even know and expecting you to watch them. That's a whole lot of a-hole behavior on his part. It is. I thought he was an a-hole enough for trying to push this on me for several months. But he went even beyond that. He dropped off 4 children I did not know, had never met before, and thought I would just accept it. Absolutely amazing. I don't understand how anyone, under any circumstances, would think this is okay. Unless an asteroid is heading to Earth and for some reason, the only way the children will survive is if they are under your care. But I am reasonably sure that was not the case. Lol, no. Not even close to what was going on. It's crazy. I can hardly believe he thought I would give in at the door. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister I am not taking my nieces again? I, 27 female, have 2 sons. My oldest is 6 and my youngest is 2. My sister, 31 female, has 2 daughters, ages 9 and 7. Up until a year and a half ago, we lived in different states. Then she moved back and I started spending some more time with my nieces and it was horrible. First time, took all the kids to McDonald's and the oldest threw a fit because she didn't get the toy she wanted. She was yelling and saying I needed to buy her another meal to get her the toy. She tantrumed all the way back to my sister's house. During this, the youngest kept throwing food too and wouldn't stop when told to. Second time, my sister and I took the kids to the zoo. The youngest spat on my oldest ice cream because he got the last of the flavor she wanted. My sister made very little deal out of it and shrugged it off. The oldest told my oldest that's the reason you give them what they want. Third time was going shopping. Sister asked me to take the girls for the afternoon because things came up. Had them in the car and they both threw a fit because they didn't want to go grocery shopping and then they kept kicking the cart when I was going around. The youngest tried to break something so he would be made leave. I stepped into discipline many times and got told I was not their mom and they didn't have to listen to me. I ended up dropping them back with their dad. Fourth time, brought all 4 kids to the park and they didn't want to stay because they thought we were going to a water park. They did everything they could to ruin my oldest having fun, and then when I pulled them back and said if they couldn't play nice or entertain themselves, which I tried to get them to do, they would run in different directions and yell. So we left after less than half an hour. Final time. They were at my house, so my sister and her husband could have a date night. They wouldn't eat the food I prepared, nuggets and fries, because they wanted pizza. They didn't want apple pie, they wanted chocolate cake for dessert. They were spitting in everyone else's food and throwing it on the floor. I got the same attitude when giving discipline, and they started yelling when they weren't getting their way. This lasted all night. They wouldn't go to bed, didn't sleep, woke both my kids up. Each time I sat and spoke to my sister, and she seemed to take it seriously, especially after I pointed out after the zoo incident, and then the last time she shrugged it off as kids will be kids. And I told her if that's how they behave, then I'm not going to have them in my home or take them anywhere. She said that was fine. Then after she returned to work post-lockdown, she asked me to help out in a few emergencies which I said no to, and she called me a jerk for not helping. But the way they behave, I am not willing to sign up for that. Especially if she's going to shrug it off. Am I the a-hole? I wanted to add this here because more than one person has brought up why I would give them so many chances and subject my kids to them. It's because I was happy to finally be more active in their lives, and I have always loved having a big family around us. We grew up with a lot of cousins, and sometimes they spent time at our house and we spent time at theirs. I wanted that for my kids. So yes, I let it go on too long for my own kids' sake, because I kept hoping my sister was serious and the next time would be better. But it never got better, and eventually I do have to put my kids first and say enough is enough, which is what happened. I am sad that it ended up like this though. Adding some more details here that have come up along the way. Also, thank you for all the responses. I was not expecting it, and I am relieved to see them all. My parents have had some bad experiences with them too. Throwing food on the floor, yelling at them, being demanding and rude. In my parents' house, they never spat, but there was an incident in their own home where my sister decided my dad should get a bigger steak, and the oldest did not like that, and so, yeah, you don't need me to go into details. My parents were horrified. They're still horrified. They would never have allowed us to behave anything like that, and at their ages, it's just awful. I don't know of any specific issues. Part of me is wondering if there is a reason they moved back here. Maybe it's just my negative mind after everything, but maybe they lost all their support there? Maybe they had babysitters and help there, but his family got tired of it and refused because of the behavior. No way would that behavior come out of nowhere, but I wasn't around enough when they were little to know if they were acting out like that or not. Otherwise, it sounds like they just get away with doing whatever they want, and so they never learned how to stop. I am aware they've had some issues in school, but I don't know any details really. I can't imagine they would get away with that spitting though. No way would a school tolerate that. Now for the top comments. Not Dayhall. These kids sound like animals. I'm amazed Opie gave them 5 chances. Not Dayhall. That is feral. Assuming they're neurotypical, I truly don't understand how your sister and her husband aren't deeply alarmed. If your kids spend too much time with them, there's virtually no way it won't cause them to develop issues. They're already getting bullied. Your sister has the right to raise, or not, her kids however she wants, and you have the right to do the same. If her parenting is negatively impacting yours, then drawing a line is perfectly fair. She can't get mad. Respect for each other's lifestyles cuts both ways. I would hold extremely firm on it if I were you, and only restore her babysitting privileges if you see actual change, not just hear promises about it. That's what I plan to do. I would love to spend time with my nieces, but not with the level of disrespect and danger that comes with it. I could never forgive myself if they got hurt. Not Dayhole, especially with a spitter and how they are hard to discipline or control. That's very dangerous and can get you in a lot of trouble that your sister will not take responsibility for. If she can't discipline them, then she can keep them all to herself. Why would she go back to work before figuring out childcare for her own children? How is that your fault? That's my concern. Imagine if something happened when they're running off because they're not getting their way. Anything could happen to them. I'm sad about it too because I was excited to spend more time with them, but the disrespect, man, it's too much for me. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not letting my sister move in and kicking her when she's already down? I, 32 female, have a sister, 31 female, who has always thought highly of herself amongst our family. Growing up, she's always belittled us, especially our single mom, calling her an idiot. Mom made several poor financial decisions back then, which caused my mom a lot of grief and made her cry on multiple occasions. She has also always scorned me since I did not finish my college degree. When I was 20, Mom lost her full-time job and was only able to get part-time job. I chose to put my degree on hold and help my mom with family expenses so my sister can get through art school and my brother can finish high school and go to college. After finishing art school, my sister has since distanced herself from our family. We do get occasional phone calls. Due to COVID, my brother, 25 male, came to live with me so both of us can save on costs. He's occupying my spare room and we turned the living room into an office since we're both working from home. We split the cost 70-30 since I earn a bit more than him. We have built a comfortable and respectful dynamic during this past few months. Where I might be the a-hole. My sister lost her job 3 months ago due to COVID. Because of that, she couldn't keep up with her house payments and move into a small rental. She found out little brother was living with me. She said that she also wanted to move in, but take the room he's using and kick him out to my living room sofa bed. On top of that, she said to split the cost of living as 50, me, 30, bro, 20, her. She said that's all she could afford right now. When we three talked about it, he said he's fine moving to the sofa bed, as long as she do the majority of the chores while she's looking for work. They got into an argument because sis didn't want that, and insisted that we get equal amount of chores. I tried to mediate at first, saying that if she wants equal chores, she should be the one sleeping on the sofa bed since she'd technically be paying less than him. But she's saying that we're both being unfair because she's unemployed and can't pay more than that. I rolled my eyes at her and snapped, "Wow, so nice of you to talk about equality when you've always been so conceited. Looks like the tides have turned." She burst into tears and called me a witch for kicking her when she felt down enough as it is, and left. Needless to say, the move-in didn't happen, and we never contacted her after that. A few weeks later, Mom found out about our argument. Sis called her, asking her to persuade me, and told me I was a bit harsh on her, because she's going through a lot right now. She also said that while it'd be better for my sister if she could move in with us so she could focus on looking for a job, she will respect my decision either way and won't force me. I'm still not keen on letting my sister move in my house, but I also feel bad for what I said to her during our argument, and I'm wondering if I could have worded it differently and had not kicked her down, as she said. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You were willing for her to pay less than everyone else and take up the room. But the fact she has to do more housework, absolutely more than fair, she's decided not to agree. That's on her, not you. Not the a-hole. Exactly this. It shows just how conceited the sister really is. It's bad enough she has no respect for how Opie made sacrifices for her before. Now she wants to come into someone else's home and start dictating? Opie, don't feel bad. Your sister sounds unbearable and not connected to reality. Not the a-hole. She can't expect everything to go her way, especially when she has no intention of actually working for whatever it may be. And it's the pandemic. We're all struggling, so I have zero sympathy for her. She deserves the couch. I respectfully disagree. She doesn't even deserve the couch. Not the a-hole, OP. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for blocking my brother's fiancée after she announced she was pregnant? I'll explain the situation very quickly, and I'll do my best to not leave out important details. I, female 33, been married for over 7 years, and I've been struggling with health issues that prevented me from having a healthy pregnancy. I've miscarried 3 times, and both me and my husband are becoming frustrated, and we've literally lost any hope. This has clearly become a sensitive topic for us, and I can't help but feel absolutely horrible whenever I think about it. My brother Sam and his fiancée have been together for 2 years now. She's a bit rude and would constantly bring up the fact that I can't have kids by making backhanded comments. For example, she told my mom and dad after I miscarried for the 2nd time that the family won't have any grandchildren till she and my brother have kids, and talked about how much pressure I must be feeling since the clock was ticking, because women over 30 have less chances of having healthy pregnancy. Even implied that my husband will eventually leave since he had a right to have his own kids since I can't give him that. As a result, I've distanced myself from my brother and my family because she was present at their house the whole time behaving like this. I had my 3rd miscarriage this past week, and I'm still dealing with complications both physically and mentally. I got a text from my brother's fiancée the next day, literally after I got out of the hospital, that she was sorry I miscarried, and that she was happy to tell me she was pregnant. In the same text. I couldn't help but notice the sarcasm in her text, especially when she decided to invite me to my own parents' house to celebrate, completely disregarding what I just experienced. I showed it to my husband, then I blocked her immediately. She found out and she told my whole family. Told them that I blocked her right after I found out she was pregnant and used the fact that I didn't visit because I was being resentful and jealous. My brother was angry that I blocked her. He told me I was clearly being bitter and disrespectful. My brother keeps parroting her words and won't even see anything wrong with her behavior. It's always been like this, but now it's worse since she's pregnant and everyone is trying to please her. That I ruined this for them and that I shouldn't hate on my future niece/nephew out of spite. Both my mom and dad weren't happy with what I did. Mom even tried to say my husband made me do this because we're too bitter to be happy for my brother and his fiancée. The extended family heard the news and said they were shocked I did this, saying that I'm always known to be a nice person who doesn't pull this type of nonsense. I didn't feel like what I did was wrong, but now I do. I feel so horrible, but given how she treated me in the past, I figured she did this deliberately. Now for the top comments. Not at a-hole. Show everyone the text she sent you. She's doing this on purpose, and she sounds like a psycho. Exactly. Not at a-hole. She was trying to rub it in your face. You don't put the two things into one message, and she could have held off for a few days after to tell OP. You need to show your family the message and read it out how perceived her tone to be. Not at a-hole. Did you show them the text? Show exactly why you did it. She used her announcement to make another dig at you. Disgusting. A-holes like that shouldn't be enabled or supported. No, I haven't seen them after this, and they didn't give me the chance to explain. Even if I did, they think I did this because of the fact that she was pregnant, but she was being rude and disrespectful to me even after I went through this awful experience. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.